it's a new day. We're gonna turn the page. But before we do, there was some positives, right? And there were some guys who stood out for a myriad of reasons, not just because they had the best stats or whatever, or they looked the best in the jersey, but they kind of fit a criteria that really Doug, you kind of have an eye for. And every year for the last couple of years, we've wanted to acknowledge those guys. And this is really, like I say, you have the Heisman Trophy, you have other awards they award in New York, whatever. Walter Payton Award for SVS. But to me, in my opinion, and I'm biased, being a Doug's dude is he great at all that stuff. So Dougie, this is your time. The 2024 Doug's Dude team. Let's go ahead and start with the offense, Dougie, and you tell me your guys and why they are on the 2024 Doug's Dude team.
All right. Well, first off, thanks for having me back again to give my awards out to my Doug's dudes, man.
Yeah.
Hold
on. Before you start, I'm remiss. It's been a busy day. Do you need any theme music? Because I can do some humming or just anything in the background to help you out. Just to.
No. No, I don't need you. I got my bell.
Okay.
I got my bell. I don't need your music. The guys know I'm gonna be outside the locker room when they arrive. Shaking the bell, making a little noise for them on the little Aggie dog walk.
Okay.
We don't have much of a tradition there as of now, but I'm starting one. So anybody want to join me again, you come out there early. We'll get you the specs on what time the team's gonna arrive, and you can be there to welcome the team into the tailgate, into the locker room. But anyway. Thanks for the offer, but no theme music needed.
Okay.
You got the graphic up there and the t-shirt in the back, man. That's gonna suffice.
Yeah.
Doug's Dudes a little bit different this year, man.
Okay.
We've had some really successful years, really talented teams, talented guys that just contributed and had some outstanding years, statistically and leadership-wise, and just overall grit on the field. We didn't have as much of that this year. All right, so we went a little bit different direction in terms of. Our list is not just based off production, but we'll go ahead and get started with some new guys, new faces that made their way to Aggie Land this past year. Starting off in the quarterback room, we're going to go with one Justin Fomby, right?
Oh, man. Fomby.
That's it. He did earn a musical selection from you midway through the season, but
yes, he did.
A guy who had high hopes transferring in, stepped right in. Here back in the spring season as a leader, went through the spring with us and really became a part of the team. And from all understanding, we talked about having young Kevin White in the quarterback room, and just think what things would have been like had we not had Fomby in place this year, who really stepped in and showed what Coach Marsh's offense was capable of in the passing game with his ability to spin the football. So I thought he did a good job. Thought he brought a great energy to our team. We saw him get up and. I think he was singing in the sports athletic banquet early in the year, really showed his personality. He came on the show and really showed who he was. Again, he had the great press conference when he brought his offensive line up and showed support. So at a time when the team was really struggling and we were looking for some things to be excited about, Justin Fomby did that for us and actually had us going down to beat who would go on to be the conference champion against Richmond last drive of the game, and had a chance to win it. So I think that was one of the highlights of his year, again, the South Carolina State. 3 quarters that he played that were outstanding and really did some things offensively. And he's one guy that I think had he been here probably in a different era with an opportunity to play, probably could have put up some really big numbers passing the football and some decent offenses based off some of the throws I saw him make and based off some of the coaching he would have received in terms of taking care of the football. So
I kind of wish he wasn't a 1-year winter. I wish we had him for one more year.
He'd be nice to have, man.
Oh, man, yeah.
Finally, go back and check that eligibility, man. You might have something else. Guys are finding eligibility everywhere.
The medical somewhere. The medical somewhere, man. Make sure,
So, thank you, Mr. Fomby, for your services, and we hope to keep you around Aggie Land, man. We look forward to hearing from you again. But we'll move on to another newcomer who stepped right in and filled a void, big need for us. We had a lot of guys that were down last year in this spot. I really didn't know who was going to fill the shoes of Mr. Nasty Tyreek Stewart. But RJ Adams stepped right in, man. I think he played every game this year. JUCO guy, if I'm not mistaken. And, we didn't miss a beat. It was a little bit of a learning curve early on, but Coach Mattis did his thing, worked his magic, and this guy had a successful year. Currently, he's in the portal, and he may be looking for a bag. I don't know. I'd say a new home or an upgrade, because I think he's got one of the best offensive line coaches in the nation here in Aggie land, and we know that Coach Gibbs and those guys can put together a hell of a running game, and that can get you to the next level. That's kind of been our pedigree here. But Mr. RJ Adams, thank you for your services. You came in and you were solid up front, as solid as they come. But still keeping the focus up front. Got to go to two of my dogs, man. Two guys that have been here for a while, and by no means is this a lifetime achievement award. But these are two guys who mean a lot to me as an Aggie fan, as an Aggie football player, and as an Aggie supporter, because they came in and they've kind of been here across, well, I'd say 3 regimes, 3 conferences. Those guys are none other than big Korian Sharpe, who I'm a huge fan of.
Oh, yeah,
He's been dominating the line of scrimmages since the moment he showed up and got a chance to play. Again, he's a guy we rotated into the line back when we had a solid offensive line, just because he gives us an advantage up front, man. And I've seen him maul guys out and get up and go back to the huddle, do it again, play after play. And really excited about what he brought here to Aggie land. It seems as if he has another year, and I think he's in the portal too, but he's definitely served Aggie football well, and he's got a home here. So Mr. Korian Sharpe and family, thank you for what you've done here and what you did up front for us. And I'd also like to thank your left-hand man, the guy who played to your left and actually snapped the ball, Mr. Cesar Minaro. Cesar Minaro, it seems like he's been here forever. I think Cesar might have been here when Coach Hayes was here. He seems like he's been here forever, but he's a guy that came in, technician, smart guy. He's a mechanic up front. He knows where he's supposed to be. And, a lot of times Cesar was playing against a bear of a man at nose tackle or nose guard or D tackle. And he just found ways to neutralize guys, even when he was, I would say, undersized at times, or I'm going to say overmatched. I'll say undersized at times for some of the guys he had to go up against. And you'd see him work his magic. Battle injuries late in his career, but complete warrior. See him get up at times when, the average man would just say, this lady at Cesar, just stay, let him come get you. Cesar,
stay down,
Cesar. No, Cesar's going to get up every time like the Undertaker. I mean, he gets up, goes to the sideline, and pretty soon he's trotting back on the field and give you his best effort. So, Cesar Minaro.
You know what, too, Doug, I'll say on that, as bad as 1-10 and 1-11 were, trust me, this thing could have got a whole lot worse if we didn't have those leaders in the locker room. And Cesar was one of those guys who kept things together. It did not, of course, it did not translate to the win-loss column. But I'm telling you, and I'm not even that much of, embedded inside locker room. I just know when you have strong guys like Cesar, he's probably talking somebody off the ledge. He's probably putting, diffusing this fire. He's doing so much to keep this thing rolling. Probably only him and his teammates and coaches know his true worth. But I guarantee you, he's one of those guys who just, see a Doug's dude. He's one of those guys you want to foxhole with you, because he's always going to be trying to win and not to tap out.
Hell, Sam named him a captain. I think he was like a sophomore, junior. He was one of the captains before he had a lot of playing experience, and that just spoke to his leadership abilities inside the locker room and even on the field. So shout out my guy Cesar Minaro. I'm gonna miss that guy, man. Cesar, man. He knows I'm a root for him all the way. But yeah, those are my big guys up front, as well as the quarterback that they protected. But I can't have a Doug's dude without going outside, right? I bounced around the running back room, and anytime I went to the running back room, it just was hard to even wrap my mind around it, because it's such a position that that we value here at A&T. And I do want to give a shout out to Shamik Blizzard, who kind of balanced things out late in the season, made some headway. Young Daniel Coles, who I think is going to be a monster. Those guys ran hard and did nothing but get better towards the end of the season. But when I think about my wide receivers out wide, I got to give a shout out and a Doug's Dude Award to the young buck, Jayvonne Dillard, for stepping onto the scene.
Oh yeah, okay.
He makes the cut. He stepped onto the scene for number one. He made the 5 proud, made some big catches for us in traffic. Did a great job of blocking early on. Sprung Kenji Christian in that first game against Wake Forest, and just was pretty solid. Battled a shoulder injury, I believe, and showed some promise as a redshirt freshman, this year. Looking forward to his future. But he's got a Splitters Award because he's a rookie and he's the young buck on the roster, and he's gonna split it with the semi-vet Ger-Cari Caldwell. All right.
Okay, good deal.
And I'm giving Ger-Cari Caldwell a shout out and a half a Doug's Dude Award for having a bounce back year. We've seen a lot of guys. It's hard playing college football, and it's definitely hard when things don't go your way sometimes. And Ger-Cari had some tough drops over the last couple of years, but he was able to bounce back this year and put together a good season. One of the top receivers in the CAA. Still probably had something he wanted to hang on to this season, but definitely made some plays and increased his value, right? And so he'll have opportunity to go out in the portal and see what he's worth. And again, he's still got an opportunity to play football, which is a young man's game. So hopefully that young man can continue to play football. Hopefully he's here at A&T, but wish him best of luck. And that's my love that I had to shoot out to my wide receivers. We kept the list short this year. We kind of kept it at what would be considered like a first team 11 or so guys. So I know there's some guys who missed out. I didn't touch on the tight end room. We're gonna talk about them later, but those were some special guys. And we got a lot of Aggie fans that say get the ball to the tight end, and they really showed some splash plays and emerged as some outstanding football players. So I'm recognizing the room in general because they all stepped up at one point or another, kind of throughout the season, try to kind of shine in their own light.
So that's all three guys. So that's your offensive guys. So let me recap for the offensive side, the Doug's Dude Award: Justin Fomby, RJ Adams, Korian Sharpe, Cesar Minaro, Jayvonne Dillard, and of course Ger-Cari Caldwell. Craig, before we go to the defense side, what do you think about that list, man? That's a pretty strong compilation of dudes.
Pretty strong list. Pretty strong list. I don't. I have no problems with that. We're talking about tight ends. I think Nick Dobson had a great career here, but I think a guy who's potentially a star for the future is Anthony Rucker. I watched him throughout. Yeah. I watched him throughout the season. The kid can flat play, and he can catch the ball. He runs good routes. Fair blocker, but his potential to be able to go deep, over the middle, and to come up with big plays like he did at Richmond. Had big plays throughout the year for an offense that was for the most part had been fairly anemic in the passing game. I think he has a bright future here. So that'd be the only guy I would probably add into that list.
Okay.
Well said, Craig. Well said.
Good deal. All right. So now we're going to turn to. You want to go special teams? Let's go special teams. Because I know you guys. Well,
special teams is easy. I got to keep it in the family, man. The money man himself, Andrew Money Brown. Early on he provided that spark for us. Was able to put together some pretty impressive kicks. Had the long boots early on to split the uprights. Was solid early on. Football's a tough game, and there were some misses that Andrew had this year. He probably wants back. Yeah, but he did a lot of work, man. That kicking is not easy. A lot of people talking junk about the kickers, man. Ain't a lot of people that can do it, Craig. It ain't a lot of people that can step out there and do it.
Ain't easy.
He brought so much value to our program, as well as his family, man. They brought a ton of value to our fan base as well. Yeah. And Money Brown, man, I love a guy that came to A&T and got the most out of his education this time at A&T and lived it up. Enjoy. He's a fun follow on Twitter and social media. So
he loves Money Brown. Hey, listen, you want to get into an argument? Talk about what's that, Premier League soccer or something like that with
get money going, huh?
Yeah, he'll get him going. That's a good way to start a conversation, man.
Well, heck of a young man, and looking forward to his bright future, man. He's gonna keep on doing good things. But that's all I have for special teams, man. I have a gentleman on the list that I could have given a special team award to, but I'm just going to recognize him because he's listed as a cornerback here on the roster, and that's my fellow Newt Aaron Harris. Another guy with a solid career that his career spans 3 different regimes and 3 different conferences. But Aaron was solid as they come, bounced back from the ACL injury last year that he suffered against Norfolk State, or the knee injury he suffered against Norfolk State. And, to see guys come back and play a position like cornerback and be effective. I was holding my breath early in the year. I didn't want him to get hurt, man, but he was out there flying around making plays, had the big kickoff return against Central down there to open up the game. Gave us that big shot of momentum, but was solid, man. And generally, he's going to be right there taking on the opponent's best guy and trailing them at times. And he and both Karon Prunty, both those guys in the secondary. But Aaron Harris, I can't say enough about him. I like to say that he started his career with an early kickoff return against Central, I believe, and bookended his career with a Central kickoff return, which I know his mother
that's right.
enjoyed to the fullest, right? She's an Eagle. But she definitely did a good job of rooting for her son and representing A&T while he was here.
Well, good deal. So Harris, is he a dude or is he?
Aaron Harris is a dude. Yeah, he's a dude.
He's definitely a dude. Okay, so you go on defense now. So now we on
he's
defense.
On defense. We can give him a little special teams credit too, man.
Okay,
he
all right.
did both.
All right.
So
okay.
You got Travis Hunter going both ways, man. Getting some recognition for doing two things. We're gonna give Aaron Harris some recognition for doing more than one thing on the football field. Two phases of the game, right?
And just like Cesar Minaro, you probably don't understand how much of a leadership role he had behind the scenes. He was kind of an elder statesman this year. He had been there so long, and just like I said, as bad as things were on the record, at least we were. And I think most people say, we were playing competitive football. We might the final score might have got out of hand, but it wasn't like we just put the ball down and went down by 50 points. It was usually kind of we hit a wall after halftime, but we came out with fight, and the guys never quit. So, and I think that's a testament to people like Aaron Harris, Cesar Minaro, all these Doug's dudes. They kind of kept this thing as best it could. So,
yeah, well, we're gonna keep it right there in the secondary, man. You heard me mention his name. Might as well go ahead and talk about him. Number one in your programs, number one in your hearts this past year, Mr. Karon Prunty. The All-American. Since the day he showed up, man, he's been highly touted cornerback out of Kansas. Since he had that, great freshman year where he was Big 12 All-American, freshman All-American. Prunty, we put a lot on his shoulders, asked him to do a lot of things, expect a lot out of him, man. You followed up a position that sent Mac McCain to the NFL, Tony McRae. So when you play cornerback here at A&T, Deja Latoye, we've had some big cornerbacks that had some success here at A&T. So we had some high expectations for him since the moment he's walked in. He's been versatile, played at a couple different positions, showed his ability to blitz from the nickel position. I think Wash had him at safety in that Central game where he came down and made some big hits that he definitely needs to have on his highlight film to show his versatility. But Prunty was solid. He was asked to tackle a lot more than he probably should have had to tackle here in these last couple of years, man. He had to make some middle linebacker tackles at times. I just keep thinking back to that damn quarterback at Richmond, man. I'm like, freight train guy. But Prunty was solid, man. Prunty was solid. Did what we asked him to do. Competed, right? Competed, and I like a guy that comes in and gives other guys a taste of what big time football can look like, right? And how athletic things can look at times. And guys kind of use that as a measure stick. And he rose the level of play for some guys. And I'm glad he was here as an Aggie to contribute to our program. So shout out, Mr. Prunty. Hope you stay here in Aggieland and bounce back out the portal like you did last year. All right.
No. I'm not gonna be there. I want you to get your money. It's your last year.
I want to see him get his money.
Listen, you done paid the cost to be the boss. I appreciate everything you've done at A&T. You got one more year left. You got NFL measurables. Go out there, find somebody who's got a whole bunch of NIL money and ball out. Just like we gonna root for you. Just like we root for Tootin and Jacob Roberts when they went on to the schools. You're always gonna be an Aggie. So no shame
is
there.
that he finds the right fit, right?
Yeah.
Let's not just the right bag. Let's find the right fit that someone that's going to utilize his skills.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So now I'm going to surprise you a little bit, man. I got some Doug's dudes. I don't know if you have them on the list. I don't know if you had these guys in this position on the list.
My man.
Right? You want to take a guess at the position?
Linebacker.
I got you. I almost got you. We're gonna keep it right there. We're gonna keep it right there in the secondary with some DBs, some safeties, man. I got two young safeties on this list that earn our respect here in Aggie Land this year, not only for their effort, but their commitment to Aggie football. Duece Davis, right?
My man.
Battled the injury, came back from an injury, gave us everything he had. Every snap he was on the field. I got a lot of playing experience, a lot of playing time. Again, he started to emerge last spring, and and you knew he was going to be a difference maker. Coach raved about him. Actually said he had the best camp out of all his DBs, and got on the field and made some plays for us, man. Got robbed of a good pass breakup, I think, midway through the season. I don't know if it was Towson or somebody, man, broke on a curl route. But Duece is going to be special, man. Again, kudos to Coach Davis and everything he's done at Dudley and that great run they had this year. But he raised a good one in Duece Davis, and Duece is going to just continue to get better. Looking forward to his bright future. And my guy, Tre Mittman, Monty Benji's son, man. The kid is going to be good, man. He brought a lot of fire. Anytime you see a true freshman out there getting significant reps and making an impact, you got to keep your eye on him, man. But made some flash plays, laid the lumber on some guys, which I like to see a guy throw his body around.
He is not contact shy. He is not afraid to put his shoulder in there. And, he ain't the biggest dude, but he throws it around as much as he can.
But tough kid, smart kid, impressive kid. And when we signed him,
from Bull City, right? He's a Bull City kid, right?
He's Bull City with some good Greensboro ties.
Okay.
His family got some good ties to Dudley and A&T as well. So,
okay.
But he's gonna be special. Glad he's in the fold, and those are the type of eggs we want around and want to continue to build our program around.
Now I'm worried about him though, because Craig might have gave him the kiss of death because he was on Twitter and Craig called him. His number is 21. Craig named him 21 Savage. So I don't know if that's going to backfire because
Craig
I know. I don't do nicknames, bro. You know that.
I do not do nicknames. Sound like you, Craig. It sounds like somebody else I know, but that's okay.
Really.
Oh, 21
Somebody
Savage.
Protect it, man. Somebody protect it.
Oh boy.
My last guy, one of those guys we talked about is being a heartbeat of the team. Guy's been around for a minute, made a lot of plays, and just continued to show what that true Aggie pride and that grit was about. Was undersized, overmatched at times in this new scheme, but laid it on the line definitely this year and as well as last year when the young man was even playing in the interior line. But that gentleman is none other than Henry Daniels.
Oh, okay.
Is a longtime Aggie.
HD.
Heavy duty, man. He had to grin and bear it sometimes and take it in there and just give it all he had, man. And there were some games where he was a one-man wrecking crew. South Carolina State comes to mind. Some of the plays he was able to make in the backfield and disrupt what the offense had going on. Made some big plays up at Richmond and just used his quickness and his athletic ability to impact games. Probably would have benefited from having a little more help up front. We've seen him be effective, and he's kind of in the mode of a lot of those guys we had at defensive end over the last couple of years. If you think about Jermaine McDaniels of the world, those guys who just get back there and just play fast. So I'll miss him, man. That was one of our guys. I think he did a good job, and I'm expecting him to pass the torch on to another young leader with a nice, calm demeanor, who I think is a fantastic young man with a fantastic film and a fantastic background. He didn't get an honorable mention award. I'm giving him my leadership award for the year for just being an outstanding teammate, not only to his close friends, but to other guys on the defense. It's not easy playing college football. We heard Shropshire come on here a few weeks ago and talked about what it's like being above the influence and trying to change the culture or set a tone and keeping the main things amongst a group of guys. And that leadership award from the Doug's Dude standpoint goes to Josh Iseah. All right,
Iseah. Okay,
Josh Iseah. He's a young guy who I think is going to be when it's all said and done a few years from now on his senior day. He's going to be one of those guys that's been through the fire that we're talking about. Was with two different regimes, and kind of was one of those guys who helped change the culture and change the momentum and the trajectory of kind of where we were when he first got here. So that's my wish for him, if nothing else, man, in our current Aggie football players. So that's my list of guys right there, man. Those are the Doug's Dudes for 2024.
And if I'm not mistaken, the 2024 Blue Death Player of the Year is Henry Daniels, correct?
Henry Daniels.
He passed the test, and he's actually I got some film of Henry in action. This is from midway towards the end of the season. And we were already out of playoff contention, but he was still playing hard. This is when we went to Campbell, Bowies Creek, and he had a will of a game. This was Henry Daniels against Campbell. Let me pull this up.
Snap. Searching. Runs into some pressure. And the Aggies bring him down behind the sticks. Henry Daniel. Surveying. Pressure again. And the defense gets to him. Once again, Henry Daniel, 2 back-to-back sacks.
Past the sticks and makes it tougher on the offensive line. And Daniel, there's a twist up front, comes around and finishes off the play.
Biggins in the backfield. King at the bottom of your screen. Pressure comes. Ball loose. Campbell falls on it. And Masco is down.
Man, he was making some plays. I can see why that you want to acknowledge him for his exploits. But that was a great list. So let me get this right. So you got Justin Fomby, R.J. Adams, Korian Sharpe, Cesar Minaro, Jayvonne Dillard, Ger-Cari Caldwell, Andrew Money Brown, Aaron Harris, Karon Prunty, Duece Davis, Tre Mittman, Henry Daniels, and then honorable mention Josh Iseah. So that are it's the 2024 dudes, man. And like I said, the season didn't go the way we wanted to. And just to give props to those guys, man. The season didn't go quite the way we wanted it to, but I tell you, it was a exciting ride, and those guys never tapped out. Those guys never at all tapped out.